So in this video, we will proceed our Qt examples, and we will add to the Bluetooth application example an actual device that will show that it works. So the device will be a realtek dongle that has both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and we will connect it to our QEMU system via a USB pass-through, and we will prove that it works via this nice device here that we showed in the previous meetup. So let's show this. So first thing first, this is what we're going to run, which is pretty much like the previous run fuller kernel or whatever script, only that it adds a USB bus, it adds a USB EHCI bus, and it attaches to it a device. So the device is this fellow here, USB host. This is the vendor ID and the product ID of a specific Bluetooth and Wi-Fi dongle from realtek, and we attach it to this bus. The name here is arbitrary USB bus, I just called it, and the number here is like which bus it is on. We could alternatively select a particular bus on the host itself, like we can do something like LSUSB or LSUSB. It tells us like the bus is -T, which tells a little bit like more about like the ports, what is what, which is the root hub, and so on. Okay, but I'm not going to do that. All right, so don't worry about it too much. But I'm just not going to do it. So, but out of the topology, we can see that I have somewhere some USB hub, which I can disconnect to show it. It's like this fellow, and if I do like LSUSB here, then it will disappear now, right? But I can go just do like USB messages, just so you see like the topology of what I'm showing. And I connected here something, and this is like what it tells us. Hey, like there is like a start. The Segger is because the Zephyr board was attached to it. Okay, but we have like this bus here, this USB bus, super speed, XHCI HCD, and this is like the Segger. So, and there is going to be another new high-speed USB device, which is like this hub that we have here. So the product is 4-port USB 2 hub, and because of that, I'm going to need to like pass it over. I'm going to need to pass it over what it faces, like the EHCI, not XHCI. But this is not very important for the example. What is more important is that I'm attaching it, okay? And speaking of like the host device itself for the bus, I could provide a particular bus like in this terminology, like if I did like a LSUSB or LSUSB-T, but the problem is that if I have like devices here with their like device number, if I disconnect and connect again, they could change. So it's usually better, unless you know you have like several devices from the exact same type, and then you need to be very specific. It's usually better not to specify it like this, like the host device parameter, but to give like a vendor import if you can, because then you can plug the device and unplug it and then replug it, and it will still go through to QEMU. So let me run this script. So I'm running it, and I will connect. We already saw in the previous video that the QEMU and Qt example works, so I'm not going to show it again. What I'm going to show is what happens when I take this device and connect it. So let me do it. So I'll do it both here and on my host. So this one is going to be of my host, connecting the device, and it identifies something, okay? It identifies product, realtek, yada, 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 firmware version, yada, 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 and it loads a firmware file here, but it also goes and modifies like the name of another device, which is fair enough, fine. And this is on my host, okay? Now, if I go to my host now, I should be able to see that, let's see what the message says. There are some errors here, but I can see that like there is this WLX 00 whatever. Let's see if I see it here. So in this particular case, I don't think that I do, okay? Which is fine. But let me just double check it. Yeah, so this one is not seen, and probably the reason for that is drivers, okay? What I can also see here is if I do RFQ, then these are the devices that are like in my host itself. So the thing is that on my host, I don't have the right drivers or like the right configurations for this particular device. I mean, it identifies it, but it doesn't do anything with it anyway. Okay. Here it says like, hey, failed to resubmit, failed to do USB write. It doesn't work. Okay. It gave up on it, which is just fine. All right. So this was on my host, and it wanted to rename all kind of things, but it didn't do like anything with it. Like this is I don't even know why it did it, but the device itself is just not there. Okay, like if I go to sys class net, then this one is just not there. WLO1 is my own device. Okay, but let's go to what interests us, which is the target. So in the target here, I can see several things. This device, and this is very important, it has a built-in support in the kernel 6 point something like versions. So I configured it also in the previous meetup as yes, like the RTW88 driver, and it wants to load firmware for the Wi-Fi. And this is what it failed to do, and it also wants to load firmware for the Bluetooth, and it fails to do that as well. So basically, one of the reasons why I installed, why I did like why I said, hey, I installed SCP, is to go ahead and copy from the Linux firmware Git that I downloaded. So let me see that. So this, when it's shallowed clone, is 1.5 gig, okay? And let's just see what config it is, because it's in video, and then later, if you want to reproduce it, I downloaded the super user, should have done it, doesn't matter. This is the config. You can see it's shallow clone because it's grafted. And I'm interested in the following folders: RTW88 and RTLBT. And both of them they're nothing. I mean, it's 2 megs, so I'll just copy them. Now, where do I need to copy them? Exactly under like the same structure, but under lib firmware. Okay, so like on my, I'll just do the super user. So on my computer, RTW88. There are all kind of like firmware devices here, like for the Wi-Fi. Maybe they fit, maybe they don't. And let's see what's going on with the Bluetooth. So I also have several devices here. By the way, there is a chance that I copied them myself. I actually don't remember. So theoretically, I can go take the firmware files from there, hope they work, or I can go and copy like from my own from what I downloaded here, and I will choose the latter options. So I want to copy, and I'll do that here because I'll just write a command line here. Let's do like run at 0022 because it's QEMU, and then this path. I'll do RTW 88. So I'll do -R. I'll do it like on my QEMU target. And where I want to copy it, I want to copy it exactly here. This is the message. What I want to copy it is to lib firmware if it exists. It doesn't exist, so I will create it. Okay. Just see the kernel version. This is like the kernel, the full kernel that I built like in PSCG Devos. And it has support of this driver like in upstream, so it's okay. So I create the firmware directory. I already did that. I'll change directory to firmware. Let me just see if I have. I'll get IP address. And interfaces, by the way, they're not like ETH, WN0, stuff like that, because I did not put like the kernel parameter for that, so systemd modifies that, which is fine. So I will copy this the first time I use SSH here. Works great. I'll also do RTL-BT. Here. Great. I mean, it's not a lot, so like, why not put everything? Okay. And now look what I'm doing. I mean, remember we still have like the message. I just put it on the background, just for fun. So I'm going to unplug this device. Unplugged it. Lib USB is from QEMU. Don't worry too much about it, okay? And now I'll replug it again. So we have kernel drivers, and that's fine, and that's cool, and that's nice. And let's see what happens. I also want to see what happens like on my host. So my host identified the event, okay? Sorry, that's not my host, that's the target. And on my host, let me just go ahead and show you the message. And again, it identified that like something I got connected and so on. Great. Now look what's going on. It has new speed device, which is great. It identifies the vendor, which is great, and the product, which is great. And look what it's doing. It's loading the RTL-BT firmware here, okay? And now also like for the Wi-Fi itself, it also identifies it. And it also loaded the firmware there for sure. So let's see on the target itself. What's going on with the devices. And we can see that now we have like a Wi-Fi device, which is pretty nice. So you know what, let's make a little exercise. I mean, I'm here for the Bluetooth, but let's go ahead and install also IW. It's like nothing, okay? And I will put IP link set IW. Sorry, what's the interface name? This guy. Up. And look, now I do IW scan. I think it needs to be dev, the name of the device. And there we go. I mean, it gives us a scanning of all kind of like base stations. Okay. So now, if you wanted to connect to a Wi-Fi, which maybe I will do later, what we'd want to do is also add WPA supplicant. And then we'll need to run WPA supplicant, like the user and the password, and like something like WPA passphrase, and your SSID, your password, okay, and then to some bluff file, for example. And bluff file will look something like this, okay? I'm not putting like my own session here. And then you can connect to it. You know what? I'm going to pause for a second, put my own credentials, and then I'll show you how we have the Wi-Fi, and then we'll proceed to Bluetooth. So let me just do that. I'll remove bluff file, okay? So I typed it in a post recording, and I put the information. I don't know what I do with space that it always like opens a new file. I put information in a file called pass, okay? So now I can use WPA supplicant, and let's see what is like the status of our IP addresses. It's nothing, it's not configured, but I can do WPA supplicant -I-C pass. I can do it -B like in the background, but I don't have to. And this is supposed to connect. So basically, this does not mean that I got an IP address, not even close. But here is like the callback. This is like from the D message. It associated it. We have like addresses. Everybody's happy. Okay. However, and like the state here is like dormant. It's like not down. However, we will not have IP. So in order to get IP, we need to go ahead and get a DH client for this fellow. So I'm looking at this, and this is my IP. And just for fun, like before we did like SCP through this interface. So now I know what my IP address is, or at least I think I do. Let me check it. So here, yeah, this is my IP address over this subnet, okay? So I can do like netcat or I don't know what, but just for fun, let me SSH into that. That's absolutely not what I had in mind. Yes. And you know what? Just for fun, let's do here like netstat or something. I can do socketstat as well as that, okay? So I can go and see if I have connection like from this IP later, and I will see like correct 22 like for SSH, and like this is a connection that is like established, and I'll put like the password here, and there it is. Like I logged in like to my machine, and this is fantastic, and everybody's happy, and now I will disconnect from it. So mission number one is done. Like, hey, we have Wi-Fi. It wasn't part of the mission that I intended, but we have Wi-Fi, which is awesome. Part 2, Bluetooth. This is what a dongle has. So let's go ahead. There is another tool called RFTool that can enable disable power, but prior to that, let's even go and try to install the Bluetooth stack. So it's something that is called Bluetooth. And I will install it right now. And now I have Bluetooth installed, which is great. Let's see, I'm in systemd status Bluetooth. So it's active and running. Amazing. And there is a tool called HCI config that help me see great colors. One second. Okay. So there is a tool called HCI config, and it actually tells me right now, hey, like it's up and running, like this device. Otherwise, I could go ahead and do like HCI config up or HCI down. So now I'll go to a tool called Bluetooth control. And because the device is running, because it has like the driver, because it has like everything, and then basically, because I load like the firmware after like I connected it, basically I can see some addresses, but there definitely are cases where this would not be the case, and then I'll need to go and like do power on, power like off. So I can do it from here, okay, and I can do it also from another tool called RFQ, which enables me to go ahead and block or unblock all kind of like radio devices like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, okay? So I could block it, and then I would need to do like unblock, like to the particular index here, all right? So I'm going to use system control and see what happens if I want to do a scan, sorry, a Bluetooth control. So I just want to remind you something very minor. Here we have a device. I modified a little bit one of like the Zephyr demos, okay? And I'm going to do scan LE. And look at this. We can see device, the PCG example, okay? And this matches this address. So something on my host actually catches it. This is another device that I have, okay? I love these earphones. I bought them in Sweden. So, and it happened after one of like the Suze partner meetup, Suze. So, Emil, something very good came out of coming to Sweden, even though we didn't do anything after that. And I bought these great earphones. Yeah, 7 years. One of my favorite products. So, yeah, I'm attached to something. So this works, all right? So now let's go ahead, quit this, and use Weston, because why not? And I will go now to lib x86 Qt examples Bluetooth low energy scanner, and I will run this guy here, and I will hit search, and look what happens. The PCG example, which comes from here, is discovered. So this is pretty awesome, like it works, okay? So well done, we did very well. Let me just wait a second until, or a couple of seconds until it decides to let us see the list. So there it is, we have Qt, we have Bluetooth, we even have Wi-Fi, what a nice side effect. So we have this, and this is pretty cool, okay? So mission is accomplished. And for the sake of completion, I will complete it even more and get out of Weston here. Without like a Weston, I could save like 100, 300 and something megs, as we saw like in the other, video. So I will go and by the way, this is why the resizes don't resize it. It detects change, but won't do anything about it. It doesn't mode set automatically. Why? Because it decided to. So one last thing. So we'll go to 1 second, okay? So really don't know why it keeps it. So we'll go to the same directory. Just want to remind you that if we just run it, it will say, hey, no backend. But this is Qt+6, so it also lets us like run all kind of other backends. By the way, this is why it works in Weston as is, because we have like the Wayland, the and DGL, and so on. So we don't need to provide like any parameter. Okay. But now I'm going to run something more. I'm going to go and I'm going to go and run it like directly on the frame buffer. So let me hit enter here, and let me go and see our thing here. So I'm going to hit search. I didn't get it at first, and it's the same thing. Like it checks like the last device added, and so on and so forth. I probably missed when it did like my first Zephyr device here. So it's going to show these fellows as well, which is pretty exciting. So there you go. Here we have our nice devices. You can even like drag and drop them. Amazing. And I will not do scan again. Instead, I will do something very similar, and I will use eglfs. So here you will not see the cursor because of my hardware thing, but I will click it nonetheless, or at least try to. Like I did it with a lower resolution, and it worked. Okay, seems like it's getting focus. It's a little bit hard without without cursor. Oh, there it is. Left device added, the PSCG example, and it's searching. You know, to probably add the both. If there were all kind of like smart TVs, it could add them as well. And there you have it. So yeah, I mean, I did everything from scratch, and everything works. And we even connected several different meetups, not only like from last month, or to be more precise, from 2 weeks ago. Okay, so I didn't catch a post. Never mind. Maybe I was praising it too much. But also from some years ago. So this is pretty exciting. This is pretty awesome. And we can say that with this, the examples are pretty much concluded. So there you go. Go ahead and reproduce it yourself and knock yourself out and have fun.